Hey guys, so I know it's been a while since I've posted. We're doing a lot on our farm, and with wrapping up school and getting ready for Easter and me resting when I need to, it's been tricky making videos. So I have a few things I've tried to make, but I haven't finished those videos. So I thought this week I'm gonna try, at least for 1 or 2 days, to give you recipes for what I would call a 30-minute meal. That's what I've been struggling with, is the time commitment to making GAPS food. So I thought I kept it simple this week. I ordered some cuts of meat from Butcher Box, and I got like chicken legs and some steaks, ground beef, and bacon. And we're gonna use those meats throughout this week, and then we'll have an egg dish on Friday, and then we'll have some really delicious Easter treats and dishes. And I will show you how to make gummies. The kids helped me make them. They're for their Easter baskets or whatever. We do a little what is it, egg search, like a puzzle type thing, and they'll all get some gummies, which they helped me make. So I will tag that at the end of this video in case you want to make those for your kids or grandkids. They're really a fun little treat when you're trying to eat like on the GAPS diet. You're really not supposed to have, so the gelatin that's in those, you're not supposed to have tons of it. It's supposed to be occasionally, because it is a processed gelatin. It's not like I made chicken broth gelatin. That wouldn't quite work and be as delicious in a gummy. So they are treats. Today I was making tons of chicken broth. I still have some going. So I'm going to use just a little bit of chicken broth, and I'm going to cook it with 4 pounds of ground beef. While we're in the kitchen, I'll show you this sauerkraut I made. The lid is terribly overflowing. You're really not supposed to open this the first 72 hours. But I am going to just switch. Oh my gosh, it's so bad it's going right up to the second one. And then I keep wiggling it to try to get some of the air out. All the air is pushing the juice up here into the whatever, water lock. You can see it all just dripping everywhere. It's a good ferment, but it's really messy.
I see something. It's like...
Okay, so to go with the ground beef, I have a salad mix that I just got from our grocery store. And then I'm gonna cut up a few peppers and some avocados in lines. And I have our homemade yogurt. You can see the yogurt. And then it'll be sort of a buffet. I might chop up some raw onions, because some of our kids really like the bite of a raw onion. But my husband hates them, so we don't make our guac with onions. So I'll take you over. I actually got a helper today. I don't always get a helper in the kitchen with dinner, but Oren is going to help me make the beef. Okay. He's breaking it up, and then we're going to add raw garlic and oregano.
What's oregano? Can you get it out and then I can put it on?
Yeah, sprinkle it on.
Okay. And then a pig got by the pig got out. Chickens are getting out.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. There's like 5 or 6 chickens. Like 2 went in the garden, 1 went in the belly.
You guys are the best. All right, so we already sprinkled the oregano in. Now I'm gonna put in our garlic.
Mom, can I see you you can see how it's getting like browner, that grayer.
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead, Wayne.
You can kind of see how it's getting grayer.
What does that mean?
It means it's going to be done a little sooner.
Yeah, it's getting there. I'm putting about 4 cloves of garlic in. And these are pretty big cloves, as you saw. And then you want to get the salt. We're going to put a hefty,
a lot of salt.
a hefty shake of salt. We like salt. We need salt.
Mom, what's the hefty mean?
I actually came off my adrenal hormones, which is a big deal. So I am making
like
sure I
that
get
much,
extra
like
salt.
that?
Yeah, that's fine. We actually will probably use more than that, Warren. I like to do like this, just a generous sprinkle. That might be a lot for some people, but if you have adrenal issues, you need salt and you need fat and cholesterols in sleep. And I just crave salt, so.
Mom, how about your poop?
No. Plus, salt balances out the flavor really good with the garlic and oregano. I used to have a really good taco homemade seasoning with like paprika and a whole bunch of other really good flavors.
Yeah,
But we're holding off on some of those spices because they're pepper based and pretty spicy. So just to wait a few more months until like our garden, we're eating fresh out of the garden. We're just gonna wait on some of those really spicy spices, especially in a dried concentration. That's pretty powerful. So here we are wrapping up the meat. And here's everything else ready to go. All right, so here's what dinner looks like for us. We got our 4 pounds of ground beef and way too much yogurt, but that's okay. We won't use it all. And we have all the avocados, limes, onions, and a salad and peppers. And that will be enough. This beef smells amazing. It's very garlicky. And oregano, you can just smell the flavor in it. So I'm very excited about that. I actually, you can see in here, oh, my chicken feet. I need to take that out and jar that up. So I'll share that with you too, because dinner time for me is wrapping up all the food. I want to teach you about adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue is usually related to the hormone cortisol. Cortisol is the main hormone made by your adrenal glands, and a lot of the hormones by the adrenals work in harmony with the other hormones of your thyroid and all the other little glands throughout your body. What happens though when your adrenals are taxed related to toxins and parasites, things that cause stress on your body, it could also be mental health stress too. You could be making things worse by how you handle situations. So when your adrenals get taxed, the first stage is that you get really stressed. You're wired all the time, but that quickly turns into the second stage where you are just really fatigued all the time and you need naps, and sometimes you can't even fall asleep at night or take your naps because you're just so tired, and your body's just kind of out of whack. I've definitely been at that stage many times. The third stage of adrenal fatigue is, I think, being really so fatigued. I'm trying to remember. It's kind of in between the second and fourth stage. I don't have my book. I lent it to somebody who's in COVID isolation, and I haven't been able to read it. But the fourth stage is when you're just so tired and you're in bed all the time and you can't function. So stage 3 is kind of in between 2 and 4, obviously. You're not completely debilitated, but you're not up and about a lot either. And you really can kind of tell these stages as well by how your relationship is with your spouse. If you don't, or your good friends if you're not married, you know, if you don't have a lot of energy to even try to like go out of your way to have fun, then you're probably at least in stage 2. I've experienced that a lot. My husband would encourage me to go out with people, and I just had no desire. I had no energy. Just recently have I started to feel well enough that like, wow, I think I could actually go do something fun or do painting or whatever it is. So I'm excited about that. I knew it was time for me to come off my adrenal hormone when I woke up and had energy. For a long time, especially, you might feel this way on the GAPS diet, just anyway, being tired in the morning. Your body is just still healing and detoxing, and there's a lot going on. So I knew I started decreasing when I had energy when I woke up. And even up to 2 hours later, for an adrenal hormone, you can take those up to noon. So that was kind of my like leeway. If I wasn't sure, sometimes I would feel great and then I'd crash by like 10 o'clock. So I took 1 pill or half a capsule of my adrenal supplement. But then I started feeling better longer. And I knew I was coming out of it when I could actually take a nap. So I just made sure I was taking naps and going to bed by 9 o'clock. Try to lay down by 9, maybe 10. And that's really, really helped. I think me coming off my adrenal supports. If I have to, and I'm going through a hard healing crisis, I am not opposed to going back to those. When I first started them, I was very opposed to taking anything that would be remotely resembling of a medication, but I have we have our life that we have to live, and so sometimes you have to put those band-aids on to get you through to the next layer of healing. So that's my newest update. I'm very excited to feel energy and be able to go outside for a few hours and do work in the garden. Some of you who are really sick probably couldn't even imagine that. I mean, I know I couldn't at certain points in my healing. So be encouraged that all this hard work is paying off. All right, in preparation of Easter, we are going to make gummies. Here is the recipe. Here is the recipe, and this is what they turn out to be. So we have this is just grape juice, organic from Trader Joe's, no sugar added. We measured out 1 cup, put 1/4 of the cup in here. And then we added 3 tablespoons of gelatin. And slowly, the trick with gelatin is you slowly, hold on, move your hand for a second. You sprinkle it on top. You just sprinkle it and let it kind of like make a film over it. And then as it gets hot, you can start like whisking it a little bit. We don't want this to boil. Now that it's this hot and kind of like, I don't know, gooey or, yeah, like syrupy, we turn the heat off. We're going to take it off the heat and add the rest. You can whisk in the rest of the juice, Julie.
Wait, add it.
Real slowly. Whisk it in while you do it. There you go. Good job. Okay, so now we are just filling the silicone molds. I've had these for a while, you can just find them, whatever. There's some that are bears. These are bears and bunnies and ducks. Some of these skinny ones, they kind of break and they don't really work well, so I don't use these dinosaurs. We just do the bigger ones. Stuff that doesn't have a lot of intricate stuff is easier to pop out at the end. So this was about 1 cup of liquid. We're gonna actually put this in the fridge and then make a couple batches.